Hello. This is the day. It is another day which the Lord has made. We have no reason and we have no chance, we have no other way but to rejoice and be glad in it. Why? Because the joy of our Lord is our strength. Even in this very period of crisis, the joy of our Lord is still our strength. I welcome you again in this channel, YouTube channel, where you're going to be hearing or to receive information which we are not receiving from a pulpit, which you are not getting from your schools or universities or seminaries. It is the original information. I believe you will learn something which will help you to think differently from what you have been thinking about what surrounds you, about your surroundings, about everyday life. And this is the change which is needed today. Last video, I promised to talk about other weapons of mass destruction which have been created or formed years back. Because if you remember, I said that this COVID is a biological weapon of mass destruction. And we need to be careful about this. That's why we need to heed, to follow the instructions, the measures we are being given by our government. Let us obey. Now, I'm going to share with you just few. There are many, but just few. And also, I will welcome your comments, your constructive comments. Let us discuss in the comment side. I would like to hear how you think about what you are receiving from this channel. I want to hear about how you have received the message. And also, I want to hear from you, because what I say is just a few things which are there to be said. You know also something which I don't know. I want to hear it because I like learning. Now, weapons of mass destruction. And I'm going to share with you. Then at the end, they have one thing in common, which we're going to discuss. Number one, malaria. Malaria is a disease which is killing many thousands people in Africa. This disease, or this weapon of mass destruction, was discovered by a Frenchman called Alphonse Lavergne in year 1880. A Frenchman discovering malaria parasites. Now, according to WHO report of 2018, that year alone, cases of malaria globally were approximately 228 million people tested positive with malaria globally. Among these, 92% were in Africa. That year alone, 2018, 435,000 people died of malaria. And 93% of this death were in Africa. This is a weapon of mass destruction. Another weapon of mass destruction is the cholera. Cholera is also destroying a lot of lives in Africa. This cholera was first discovered by a man called Filippo Pansini. This Filippo Pansini is Italian. It was in the year 1854. But his discovery was not widely known until Robert Koch, a German guy, who also discovered the cause of tuberculosis, publicized the knowledge and the means of fighting the disease. Cholera. These two gentlemen, none is African, who were involved in discovering cholera. In the year 2017, according to the WHO report, in the year 2017, 1.2 million cases were reported of cholera, and 5,654 deaths were recorded. And 54% of these deaths were in Africa. Okay, another weapons of mass destruction. Ebola virus. Ebola virus was discovered by Peter Carrel and Baron Piot. These two gentlemen are Belgians, nationals. These two gentlemen, they discovered Ebola virus in the year 1976. Now, I don't have to go into detail on what Ebola have done in Congo, in Liberia, in Sierra Leone. Search for yourself. That's why I call this a weapon, biological weapon of mass destruction. Now, another one, HIV virus. A French virologist, Luc Antoine Montagnier, and an American physician scientist by the name of Robert Charles Gallo are credited with discovering the cause of AIDS, HIV. Now, in fact, the first HIV/AIDS patient was discovered in USA in the year 1981. And his name is Horne Ken. How many thousands of people have died of HIV/AIDS in Africa. In the year 2018 alone, according to report of WHO, there were approximately 37.9 million people living with HIV/AIDS. Now the shocking truth is this one. 25.7 millions among 37 millions, 25.7 million of them are in Africa. We're in Africa. This is a weapon of mass destruction. Now let's come. There are many, but let's come now to COVID, the current disease, which is being massively marketed. The force you can see in marketing this disease is itself an issue. It raised the alarm. COVID-19 was first identified in 2019 in Wuhan, central China. Dr. Li Wenliang was a Chinese doctor at Wuhan Central Hospital who on 30th December 2019 warned his colleagues about a possible outbreak of an illness that resembled severe acute respiratory syndrome, later acknowledged as COVID-19, which means coronavirus disease 2019. He became a whistleblower when his warnings were later shared publicly. On 3rd of January 2020, Wuhan police summoned and admonished him for making false comments on the internet. Then, Dr. Li returned to work later and contracted the virus from an infected patient and died from the disease on the 7th February 2020 at the age of 33. Okay, these are the weapons, biological weapons of mass destruction. And the target, the main target, judge for yourself according to the figures. Where is the main target? And who discovering these diseases? Ask yourself a question. Why? No African is involved in discovering this, but it is African who is suffering more of this weapon of mass destruction. That's why we have to be careful. We have to open our eyes and our mind, put our mind to work. This coronavirus should put our mind to work and think for ourselves. The problem we are having is that we don't think for ourselves. We want other people to think for us. And when they think for us, they come up with things which are destroying us. So we need to start thinking for ourselves. Now, I'm making this statement. When illness does strike Africa, a poor infrastructure marked by poverty, malnutrition, crowded living conditions, limited health care, and an unstable political climate. This permits disease to spread, and it becomes difficult to contain it. Now, we have all seen what I call the weapons of mass destruction, which were all directed to Africa. We must start thinking out for ourselves. We have to come back to ourselves. It is when we come back to ourselves that when we start thinking solutions to the problem we are facing. But if we allow others to think for us, in fact, they are making money, they are making business, they don't care if we die or not. What they are thinking is about making profits. But they are making profits on our blood. So let no one think that the solution which will come from America, from Europe, from China, for COVID-19 in Africa, that it will come to save Africans. No. We have to come up with our own homegrown solutions, which is calling us to think, to start thinking. And to start thinking, we have to come back to ourselves. We have gone away from ourselves, looking for solution outside from ourselves, and yet the solution we have in ourselves. It needs us to start thinking. Okay, my time is going. I'm going to share with you when someone comes to himself, solutions start happening. Why? He will think clearly, he will see things clearly, and he will come up with solutions which will solve his problem. Let's go to Matthew 15, verse 15 to 18. We all know about the story of prodigal son, how it happened. But I'm going to start from verse 15. And he went and joined himself to a citizen of that country, a foreign country. And he sent him into his field to feed swine. He was looking for somebody to solve his problem. And look where he sent him, to feed the swine. This is what happened when we are looking solutions. We are depending to other people to solve our problems. What they are minding is their own business. They are looking for profits. They are doing business. So he sent him to feed his swine. He did not care about him. Nobody cares about you until you care about yourself. And Africa, this is a message. Nobody cares about you, Africa, until you start caring about yourself. We are looking on foreign aids to help our problems, to solve our problems. It will never happen. It have never helped us. It will never help us. We have to think for ourselves. We have to come back to ourselves. Verse 16 say, and he would fain have filled his belly with the husks that the swine did eat. And no man gave unto him. All they are giving you is husks, the leftovers of swine. And then you say, we are receiving aid. We look on somebody to give us. But it is what we are getting. We are getting leftovers. Why? No man gave to him. And then no man is giving you, Africa, what you want, what you need to solve your problem. No man. In fact, they are giving you something to put you in more trouble so that they can continue milking you. You have what they want. Get that? We have what they want. To get it from us, they have to continue causing problems so that we don't think to ourselves for ourselves. But this is a wake up call. Let us come back to ourselves and start thinking and come up with our own solution for our own problems. And when he came to himself, now, I like this one. 17. When he came to himself, it means he came back to himself and he started thinking. He said to himself, how many hired servants of my father have bread enough and to spare, and I perish with the hunger? Then he said, he came up with the solution. I will rise and go to my father. I will rise and go back to my source. When we come back to ourselves, we will see clearly that we have been detached away from our source. Then we will rise and go back to our source, where the solution is to all our problems. If we read again in Matthew 9:20-21, the issue of the woman, the story of the woman of issue of blood, what did happen? It says, behold, a woman which was diseased with an issue of blood 12 years came behind him. The hymn? And they touched the hem of his garment. Now listen to what happened. For she said within herself, this woman, she have been suffering for years. Nobody helped her. No doctor helped her. No prayer meeting helped her. Why? Because she was still looking help for her problem outside herself. But the day she heard about this man, she heard the message he was teaching. Because his message, that's why I said we have to go back to the message of Jesus Christ. The message which many people, they're not preaching. They're going astray. They're going around. When she heard the message Jesus was preaching, she became confident. They say, now I have to go back to myself. I think the problem is that I have gone astray. I'm going back to my roots. I'm going back to myself. So, for she said to herself, she was having conversation with herself. Now, this is how she found a solution to her problem. Say, really, I don't have to look for a doctor. I don't have to look for someone else to solve my problem. So, if you notice someone who told her, you go to touch that garment. No. She said to within herself. When you are starting, you will start having conversation with yourself, honest conversation with yourself. Then you will see everything clear. And then you will be able to come up with a solution for the problems is facing. Now, this is a wake-up call. With this crisis, I said things are changing. This crisis, coronavirus, is changing economic system. It's changing social systems. It's changing health system. Things are shaking up right now and they are changing. But the people who are changing, who wanted this to change, is not changing. It's not the change which Jesus said. No. But this also, it will help us to come back to the message Jesus preached. Then it will give us the direction of where we need to go. We will change these situations. We will change the system. Whatever the system is going to come in right now, it will be changed when we come back to the original message of Jesus. Now, today, there are many people who are preaching threatening message about coronavirus. They are inflicting fear in you, so that when someone gets tested positive, it is the fear which will kill the person, not the virus. Because you have seen, in Africa alone today, we have about 1,937 cases of people who have tested positive with the coronavirus disease. 1,937. These are the cases which are reported. Is official from the WHO. And 31 deaths. Now, which means many people are posted positive, but by following the instructions of the doctors, getting right treatment, they are recovering from this coronavirus. Let me tell you one thing. Coronavirus, what we have in our body is stronger than coronavirus. But what kills people is not coronavirus, is the fear. That's why there is massive marketing strategy about this coronavirus, to inflict the fear in people, so that when they get this coronavirus, what will kill them is not the disease, is not this coronavirus, it is fear. Fear is our number one enemy. So please don't fear, don't entertain all those scaring messages, threatening messages about coronavirus. Yes, coronavirus is there, but it is treatable because people are coming out, are recovering from coronavirus. So don't think that, don't fear that when you get it, you will die. If you get that in your mind, yes, you will die. But listen, get that out of your mind. Why? Because you are more stronger. Your antibodies are stronger than coronavirus. God have not given you the spirit of fear. That spirit of fear is being inflicted in you and is being tried. An enemy is trying to inflict that fear in you so that it can kill you.